Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Thank you very, very much for being here. Today, I'm going to do cards, and I'm going to look at sort of the dynamic, if you will, between Mark Carney, who is the current leader of the Liberal Party and right now Prime Minister in Canada, Justin Poilievre, who is currently the leader of the Conservative Party. They are the official opposition, if you will. And Trump. Because one way or another, one of them is going to end up having to deal with Trump. So I want to just take a quick look and see if I can see some of the dynamics that are going on. Just quick information. I said in yesterday's video, I think it was, that I predicted that there would be an election called between sort of yesterday, Monday, and the following Monday. And the reason I said that was because the House returns, all the members return to the House of Commons on the 24th and sort of get back to work. So it would make sense that that would be announced before then. But what do I know? However, this is what I found out because I was a little murky on the details. From the date that the election is called, okay, there are between 36 and 50 days. So it's actually 37 because the day the announcement is made is 1, and then there's 36 days following that, up to 50 days following the announcement, because the final day, the 51, is considered the day of the election. It has to be held on a Monday. There are currently about, let me see now. In order to get a majority, you need 170 ridings. I'm pretty sure it's out of 230. In Canada, we don't vote for the Prime Minister per se. What we do is we vote for the party. So in our riding, there's going to be members of all the parties running. We vote for that member who then represents us. Then, at the end of the day, when all of that is calculated, you either have a majority government or a minority government, because it is those votes for the party locally that then impacts who's sitting in Ottawa. So let's get started and see what we can figure out. Before I forget, while I'm shuffling, I'm just going to let you know that tomorrow's video on Thursday, I had another lovely conversation with Kathy Deal from Professional Aquarian, and we were taking a look at Trump, of course. We were taking a look at Canada and the United States. The relationship, what's a good thing, what's a not so good thing. A really interesting video that got put together. So I really encourage you all to check that out. And of course, on Friday, we will be doing Pendulum Friday. All right. I'm going to start with Mark Carney and Trump. Now, just for some quick background. A few months ago, the Liberal Party were just in really bad shape. Okay, everybody was fed up with Trudeau for whatever reason, and they were done. And at that point, it looked like the Conservatives were heading for not just a win, but a majority win. When Trump started with the whole 51st state and the tariffs and all of it, the way the Liberals and the way Justin Trudeau handled it has garnered so much respect across the country that the Liberal Party went from being really underwater to now having equal or one more percentage in terms of popularity. So that's part of the reason, right? Because you want to see the Liberals basically call an election while the iron's hot, while everybody still likes them, before somebody does something that pisses everybody off, and then, the whole damn thing starts all over again. So let's take a look at Mark Carney versus Donald Trump and see how that's going to go. Mark Carney, just so you know, is 60 years old. He was born on March 16th, 1965. He is married. I honestly didn't notice if he has kids or not. Okay, so relationship between Carney and Trump. Relationship between Carney and Trump. Relationship between Carney and Trump. Now, don't forget, right now, Carney is the Canadian Prime Minister, so he already is now interacting with Trump, and he's taken a very, very firm stance, right? He's like, start treating us with respect. Stop with the ridiculous tariffs. Stop calling us the 51st state. Stop calling the damn prime minister governor, because that's just stupid. So let's see, because obviously Trump is going to get a little bit of a taste, as is Carney, vice versa. Here we go. Okay. We're starting off with the Four of Wands. Okay, so this is actually talking more about the position, if you will, that Carney is in right now. He is head of a country that is completely focused on buying Canadian, of being hurt by the behavior and the antics of Trump as he's representing the United States. I said, actually in the video you're going to see with Kathy, that by and large, I think the Canadian response boils down to this. We still love Americans. We don't think we can trust them. So that's where we are. So he has stepped into a country that is very, very focused on unity, on, coming together and pulling together. He really couldn't ask for a better sort of slide, if you will, into leadership. Now, right now, the opposition has started making mumblings about investments or monies that Carney has personally, and whether those interests have been properly blocked off and shielded from his time as prime minister. You remember that when that used to happen in the United States, and then it doesn't anymore because Trump just blew it up. So that's right now, that seems to be kind of what they're going after. They don't seem to have anything else to attack. Ultimately, he's going to end up, whether it's for a couple of months or the next 4 years, he's going to end, or 5 years, he's going to end up being a very strong leader who does not suffer fools gladly. We'll say it that way. So he has strategies and plans. He has sort of hit the floor running. He has already visited, I can't remember, I'm not going to say it right, but it is the it's acknowledging that the original people of Canada were the Aboriginals. Okay. So he's gone to visit them. He's gone to France, and he's gone to the United Kingdom. And while I'm at it, I apologize for anybody who I offended by not getting the United Kingdom name straight. It's a whole England and London thing, and I think I just need to travel out there. I think if I actually went there to visit, it would be much clearer in my head. But he's gone to the UK, okay? He saw both King Charles and the mayor. No, that's wrong. the leader of the permanent party out there. Okay. So he's already taking steps to acknowledge sort of the three elements that make up Canada, and has acknowledged in very public ways that respect and that recognition. Ultimately, you're going to find that there is a balance there. He's going to, when it comes to Trump, he's going to have a slightly more tempered approach, but a much firmer approach. Okay. So with him, Trump's going to find that, while he in the government is looking to literally find an off ramp, and stop the insanity, Carney is going to be very firm about what will and will not be acceptable. I heard something actually really scary earlier today, especially if you live in Texas. With the tariffs, if the tariffs are actually imposed, the average truck price for a new truck in Texas is going to go up by $20,000. That is sobering. That is the kind of impact that there is, because these parts that put these vehicles together, they go from Canada to the United States and to Mexico, and then Mexico to and so if you start imposing tariffs on the two countries where you get your parts from and that work in connection with putting these vehicles together, you kind of shot yourself in your own foot. That's where we're at right now. Anticipate, though, things shifting and changing. It feels as if where we're at right now, it feels really like toxic, okay, and really, really angry. But by and large, this energy is going to start shifting out. Kathy's actually going to talk about that tomorrow. So once we get through basically the end of March and into the first week of April, after that, things should start to settle down. And by summer, they should be in relatively good shape. So, but for right now, we're in a place where there's going to be a lot of back and forth and a lot of people saying a lot of stuff. Honestly, absorb what you can, ignore the rest. Now, Trump, yeah, five of cups and the Knight of Pentacles, right? So Trump is about the money. This is representing him and his attitudes. It's transactional. We know that. And by and large, it has nothing to do with the people of America. It has to do with him and his rich friends. So his focus is fundamentally on the money. He also has sort of absorbed, if you will, the wrong understanding of tariffs and how they work. He is finding his popularity, Trump, decreasing. He has a far larger disapproval rating, or larger disapproval rating than a approve rating. Now, that apparently has not happened before. I mean, the disapproval was always a little lower than the approve. That's flipped. People are done with him and his antics. And that's going to give other politicians, other country leaders, some leverage dealing with him, because again, they know how to manipulate him. They've gone through this dance once before. But there's strength that is now coalescing, not against the United States as much as against Trump. But what is happening is people are saying, maybe we can't really depend on them to be our best neighbor. So where we're sitting right now, I wish I could tell you this is how the election's going to turn out, and I can't. But as of right now, it feels as if Carney will get more out of Trump than Trump realizes he's giving, which he does that a lot. But we have the Chariot. So overall, the interactions between these two are going to be fairly balanced. So you kind of have that like tit for tat, right? You do this, we're going to respond. You do this, we respond. That's kind of what's going on there. But this is interesting. If Carney ends up long-term dealing with Trump in the Oval, he may very well witness a significant downturn in Trump, in his attitudes, in his health, in his cognitive abilities. But where Trump is he's sitting like in a tower position. And what's happening is all those people with all that money are really starting to aggravate the rest of us. And so ultimately, again, that's not going to work in his favor. Apparently, Tesla has lost something like $360 billion since EM sauntered his way into Washington with a chainsaw. So those big money people are going to start to feel the impact, right? I mean, you have people boycotting Amazon and boycotting Netflix and boycotting you name it, right? So that's where that is. Let's take a look and see what we think could happen with Poilievre. Now, this is what you need to know about the background on him. He was born June 3rd, 1979. I'm not going to do the math. One of Poilievre's biggest fans is Elon Musk. He admires and likes Trump. The link, if you will, between the two of them, and not personally, but the more of an idiot is your president, the more people dislike Poilievre because they feel that they're sort of cut out of the same cloth. And we're watching what's going on in the United States and going, oh, no, we are not bringing in that same kind of like really conservative government. So that's sort of where that's kind of sitting. And that is why the Conservative Party is having a really, really hard time sort of not only regaining the ground that they lost, but actually trying to slow down or stop the complete depletion, if you will, of support. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be conservatives, but you know what? They did, and I might have mentioned this before, they did a bit of a poll sort of across Canada. And when they did this poll, like within the last week or so, Alberta would actually vote Liberal. Let's think about that. Alberta is like northern Texas. The prairie provinces are like middle America, right? They tend to be more conservative. They're more rural. They're more, just sort of basic. And I don't mean that in an insulting way, but things are very, crops are good, market price is good, things are good. Bad weather impacts crops aren't so good. And I'm not saying that every single person that lives in those three provinces is out on the field, but there is that sort of basic sort of down home mentality that permeates. And so when you get a province like Alberta saying, as of right now, if we had to vote, we would go Liberal, that says a lot. And I don't know how they're going to recover from that unless they find something with Carney and they can really, really exploit it somehow. All right, so let's look at Poilievre versus Trump. So, as I think I started to say at some point, the two of them would be far more simpatico. Okay. And frankly, that's not good for either country, honestly. Here we go. Relationship between Poilievre and Trump. Relationship between Poilievre and Trump. Relationship between Poilievre and Trump. Let's see where we go. I don't even know if I need to put out more cards. So the question that I'm asking has to do with if he is the prime minister, right? If this is the person that gets elected to go into um, office as our prime minister. These are the 4 cards that came out. The Devil, desiring attention and a win. The Lovers, connected, just like the people in the Devil are connected. And Death. And what is that? The 7 of Wands. This is about him having to be in a position to defend himself and to deflect. Well, while you may have a better relationship between the two of them, Poilievre is not going to be able to separate himself enough from the kind of interest and attitudes endorsed by the conservatives. And again, there are parts of Canada where not quite, but there's definitely a concern about sort of that real mega influence coming in. And in a way, Trump's win has created a really nice sweet spot for an election in Canada, because what's happening is you have a very, very clear demonstration of the behavior, the attitudes that somebody might exhibit if they really admire Trump, and Elon Musk thinks they're amazing. So that is what I know about that. As of right now, if the election was held right now, I would say Carney will take it, and probably with a majority government. But we have some time yet. And so we are going to let things unfold and see where we are. I will revisit this area and this topic again, probably once the election is actually called and the dust sort of settles and can see what's going on there. Okay, so don't forget to check out my video tomorrow with Kathy Beale. It's amazing. Questions or questions in the comment section below for Pendulum Friday. I am currently booking first week in April for private readings, and I'll see you tomorrow on Pendulum Friday. Until then, take care and be well. Bye for now.